Hi folks, this is video number 55 in the playlist which is devoted to 3D Experience CATIA, the generative shape design application. Uh, Let me remind you that what I'm doing in these videos up to from 1 to right now 55, they're going into this playlist, and this playlist primarily deals with the wireframe tab of the ribbon at the bottom of generative shape design application. Uh, Spiral that we're going to be discussing is essentially a restricted version of a helix. A spiral is not in space, it is a, a geometry that lies in a plane, in a support that is a flat face, flat plane, obviously, and not on a surface. Okay, so the icon looks like that, and if you're in generative shape design, this is the way the ribbon looks like. And if you have the wireframe tab, the spiral appears in this block menu. When you click on it, this dialog box opens up, and it's fairly straightforward. The V5 version of this stuff is done by the YouTube site here by Ladan, and I'm retracing his steps by doing things in the 3D Experience CATIA, which is not V5, V6. And this is also an excellent source for other 3D Experience resources. So let me go ahead and do that. Uh, I'm going to click on the spiral. Notice that it wants a support. In other words, it wants to know, get my planes here. Fit. They must be off the screen. View, fit. Okay, good. Now, let's go back here, wireframe, click on the spiral. It wants a support. Now remember, the support has to be a plane or a flat face. So I'm going to choose arbitrarily here XY plane because I don't want to create another plane and do that. Can be YZ or XZ, any plane. Now I want a start point. Where does the spiral start? Now I didn't create a point, but I can do it on the fly here. A point, and the easiest way for me to do it is on a plane. So I'm going to do it here on a plane. There's the start point. It wants a direction. What does that mean? You'll see in a second what it means when I select it. So if I say X, notice that it started at this point, created the spiral so that it grows in the X direction. You can see that started in the X. If I do it in the Y direction, it goes in the other way. Let me put it back to X. It can be any direction, by the way. You can draw a line here and select it along that direction. Start radius right now is 0. In other words, when the helix, not the helix, the spiral starts at 0 radius. But I can change that so that the radius is not 0. You can see that, for example, right now it's 3 millimeter. This distance is 3 millimeter. Okay. And start angle is 0. Let's see what happens if I do start angle right there. See that? If I don't want this, I can make it 0. Now, end radius is right now default 10. You can make it bigger. You can see this is the end radius from here to here. It's right now 15. And the number of revolution is there. You can do clockwise or counterclockwise. And incidentally, there are different options. What I'm doing right now is angle and radius. There are other options. We're going to do that later. Okay, so that takes care of this. Good. Here's my spiral. Let's go and use the other options. Let me hide this. All right. So let me go ahead and click on it. I'm going to change my mode to angle and pitch. Okay. Support, again, I select the XY plane. Point I'm going to create another one on a plane, maybe right there. Reference direction, we'll make it the Y direction. That's fine, no problem. Okay. Start radius is 0 and pitch is 0. That's impossible. Okay, so let's make the pitch bigger. Okay. I made it, how about making it 30 for now? Okay. Now, number of revolution, let's make it bigger. Okay. And there's something else that's missing here. End angle 0, pitch is 30 millimeter, and right there. So let's double click on it. Try it again. See what happened. Okay. Start angle, start radius is 0 right there. That's the point that I created. There. I can change that. You can see that. Start radius is this. Okay. Uh, and start angle is this is end angle is 0. End angle is 0. Pitch is 30. Each one of these is 30. And I need 3 of them. So there you can see. And you can make more, etc. Good. Okay. So with this option, as you can see, the end radius is not pickable, because once you give it the angle and the pitch, the end radius is determined. Okay. Let's do the last option, which is radius and pitch. Let me say okay here, and I'm going to hide the spiral. Let's do another one. Spiral. The method that I'm going to do that is, well, actually, for the support again, XY plane, center point, I'm going to create on a plane, a point like that. Uh, reference direction, I'll make it in the Y direction. Okay. But the method, I want to use the last one, radius and the pitch. That's fine. Start radius is 0. Pitch can't be 0, so let me make it bigger. And the end radius, I specify the end radius. Obviously, it has to be bigger than the pitch, etc. Now, just keep in mind that just just keep in mind that when you do these things, you better pay attention to the pitch and end radius. End radius cannot be smaller than pitch. For example, if I make this thing, I don't know, 10, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I mean, you get something, but it's not a spiral anymore. You got to be careful with some of the stuff that you input in here. It can't be just random numbers. Okay, that's pretty much it. Very simple. It's actually a very simple uh, icon to use. Get these things back if you want. Here's one. This is the second one that I did. That's sitting on top of each other, right there. All right, folks. Good luck.